Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In this video session, I am going to start with the multiple choice questions for D and F block elements that will be raised both for KSET as well as NEET examinations. So here we can start with different questions from different topics. Very importantly, you should be thorough about all the important topics that comes under D and F block elements. So very first we can start with which forms protective and non-corrosive oxide layer. Here they have mentioned four different elements, that is chromium, nickel, zinc, copper. Among these metals, which is that metal which can form the oxide, but at the same time that oxide of that metal should be non-corrosive. It is giving protective layer action. Hence we can consider here among these four, that is chromium is the right answer, because that chromium, when it undergoes oxidation, it is giving chromium oxide Cr2O3. But more importantly, this Cr2O3 is non-corrosive in nature. Therefore, which is the right option? Option A is the right option. Then, before going for remaining set of question, let me give information regarding 3D series. Because in D block elements, which is that most important series you should be thorough about, that is 3D series. So here you should remember each and every element name along with its electronic configuration in 3D series. Most of the questions will be raised for examination from this 3D series. Therefore, let me consider those elements, which are those elements which comes under these 3D series. Very first we can start from. So that is the elements which belong to 3D series are, which are those, we can start from scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Totally 10 elements we are considering. As you can remember, all are having the noble gas configuration. They are saturating the argon configuration. After that, they will be having different electronic configuration. Let me consider. Actually, you know that according to the flow principle, the electrons will be added to the first lower energy level orbitals. Here, among 4s and 3d, 4s will be filled first, then the electrons will be added to 3d. Then, remaining all will be having same noble gas configuration. They will be having slight difference with respect to 3d or 4s. We can start from. So, here for scandium 3d1. Then for titanium 3d2. You can easily remember the numbers from 1 to 10 as you know. So, number 1, that is 3d1, then titanium 3d2, vanadium 3d3, chromium 3d4, but in spite of writing 3d4, it will be having 3d5, but here we can consider it is 4s2, but here exceptional case it is 4s1. Then 3d5, for manganese also 3d5, but it is 4s2. And here also these remaining also 4s2. And for iron 3d6, 3d7, 3d8. But for copper, in spite of 3d9 it will be having 3d10. But here also it will be having 4s1. And remaining all are having 4s2, 4s2, 4s2. And finally you will have 4s2, 3d10. So you can easily remember the outermost valence shell configuration for all these elements. Scandium, that is atomic number 21 we can consider. Then remaining you can go for successive numbers with increasing one number of electrons. Hence we can start from. So 3d1, 2, 3, in spite of 4 you will be having exceptional configuration with respect to chromium. And after 3, it is not 4, it is 5, 5, then 6, 7, 8. In spite of 9, it will be having exceptional configuration because of more stable, completely filled d orbital. Here, more stable, half filled 3d5 orbitals. Therefore, both copper and chromium are having exceptional configuration. Now, how to remember these elements with respect to their electronic configuration? Importantly, you should be just thorough about the successive elements which comes one after the another. So therefore, which is that code we can easily remember for these elements? Let me give that code. You are familiar about different channels like ZTV, ETV, like different channels. Now I am going to give another channel name. So which is the channel name? That is Science TV, SCTV. So SCTV, and who is the founder of that TV channel? That is Kromen Fekkonikusen. Who is that founder? Kromen Fekkonikusen. That is SCTV Kromen Fekkonikusen. Nikusen. So Kromen Fekkonikusen is the name of the founder of that channel. Which is that channel? That is SCTV. So here SC stands for scandium, T stands for titanium, V stands for vanadium, C stands for chromium, and Mn stands for, that is M stands for manganese, and Fe, that is of course iron, Co cobalt, Ni nickel, Cu copper, and zinc. That is how we can remember that name, and you can easily remember the successive names of these elements. Whichever the question will be raised based on this 3D series, it is most important thing to remember this sequence and along with their electronic configuration. If you remember this sequence, then only you are able to write the correct electronic configuration. So ಈಗ S ಇಂದ zinc ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಂಬರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ 1 to 10, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 4 ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರಲ್ಲ, 3D 4 ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3D 9 ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆಗ 3 ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 4 ಬದಲು 5 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 9 ಬದಲು 3D 10 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That is how we can easily remember. Why you need to remember this? Because there will be rising question regarding magnetic moment and their respective oxidation state. For that, you have to remember this series along with their electronic configuration. Now, we can go for that question, which is that second question. Magnetic moment of titanium. So, hexaquatitanium 3+, it is complex ion. He is asking for the magnetic moment of this titanium. It is in the form of complex ion. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಟಾನಿಯಂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಟೈಟಾನಿಯಂ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ +3 ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, therefore titanium is having +3 oxidation state. Here, if you know this sequence and if you remember this titanium, it is having 3D2. Of course, for us it will be 2. If you remove the electron, you just remember, while filling the electrons, the added electron first enters 4s, then it goes to 3D. But while removing the electron from this series, from any element, the electron will be removed from the outermost shell. Therefore, the electron will be first removed from the 4s, then it will be removed from 3D. Therefore, in case of titanium +3, 2 electrons will be removed off from 4s. Then another electron will be removed from 3D. Then for titanium +3, what is that configuration? You will get 4s 0, 3D 1, 3D 1. Therefore, you can consider that magnetic moment can be calculated is mu is equal to square root of n into n plus 2. n into n plus 2. Here that number n, that is letter n, stands for number of unpaired electron, that is equal to square root of, what is that number of unpaired electrons present in case of titanium +3? It is having 3D1. Therefore, square root of 1 into 1 plus 2, that is square root of 2 plus 1, 3. 3 into 1 is 3. Square root of 3 is nothing but 1.73 Bohr magneton. The unit for magnetic moment is Bohr magneton. Therefore, which is that right option? 1.73 Bohr magneton. Got it? Whichever the question will be raised based on that magnetic moment, then which is most important, you should remember the sequence along with their respective configuration. Then, if you go for which of the following is colorless? Here you remember, for a colorless nature, the important thing is for exhibition of any color for any transition elements, the main reason is due to the presence of unpaired electron. These unpaired electrons causes d-d transition, that is transition of electrons among the d orbitals itself. Therefore, the color of these transition elements is due to presence of unpaired electron. And even if we come for paramagnetic nature, that paramagnetic nature of the transition elements is also due to the presence of the unpaired electrons. In case of diamagnetic, there will be no unpaired electron. In such case, they are said to be having only paired electrons. They are diamagnetic in nature. Got it? For color and colorless nature, the main important cause is presence and absence of unpaired electrons. If presence of unpaired electrons, it is colored. If absence of unpaired electrons, it is colorless. And similarly, for paramagnetic and diamagnetic, if there is unpaired electrons, paramagnetic. If there are no unpaired electrons, it is diamagnetic in nature. And now we can come for this question. Which of the following is colorless? Then you have to select that complex ion with respect to that respective transition elements which is said to be colorless in nature. Of course, you know that all are said to be having, they are attached to coordinated with neutral ligands, that is water. Therefore, it is easy to have that vision, that is +2 oxidation state is representing the oxidation number of zinc itself, because water ge charge illa, so it is neutral ligand. Agar illi ಏನು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನಾಡಿಯಂಗೆ +2 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗನೀಸ್ಗೆ +3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಐರನ್ಗೆ +2 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್? ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ವೆರಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿಸ್. ಈಗ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಿಂಕ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದೆ, +2 ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಿಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ 4s2 3d10 ಇದೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಔಟರ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು 4s. ಸೊ 4s ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ Zn+2 ನಲ್ಲಿ 4s 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ 3d10 ಇದೆ. 3d10 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ colorless. Therefore, Zn with hexa aqua with 2+ charge is said to be colorless in nature. Therefore, option A is right answer. And if you consider this vanadium, manganese and iron, so vanadium +2, here you go for +2. ಈಗ 4s 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, +2 ಅಂದಾಗ 3d3 ಗೆ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗನೀಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗನೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4s2 3d5, ಸೊ +3 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4s2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 3d5 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3d4. ಅಗೇನ್ there is presence of 4 unpaired electrons. It is also colored, it is not colorless. And if you go for iron +2 ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಐರನ್ಗೆ +2 ಅಂದಾಗ 4s 0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ 3d ನಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ unpaired electrons will be present, that is 4 unpaired electrons will be present. Therefore, all these three are colored compounds, colored complex ions, but this is the only zinc with +2 oxidation state is colorless because of presence of unpaired electron. Got it? Therefore, which is that correct option? Option A is the correct option. Next, which of the following is paramagnetic as well as colored ion? You know, as I told you before, the reason for colored ion is due to the presence of unpaired electron. The reason for paramagnetic nature is presence of unpaired electron. For both the things, the cause is unpaired electron. And you should select such ion which is having unpaired electron. If you go for copper +1 and +2, here we can go. Here copper +1 means 4s 0 and copper +2 means 4s 0 3d9. In case copper +1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3d10 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಗೇನಾಯ್ತು, ಅದು ಡಯಾಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಕಾಪರ್ +2 ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ 4s ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ 3d ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಪರ್ +2 you will get, for Cu +2 you will get 3d9. 3d9 means there will be presence of one unpaired electron. Therefore, it is paramagnetic nature as well as it is having color. Hence, the option is Cu2+. Even you can cross check with the remaining two. Scandium 3+. Scandium 3+ means 3 electrons should be removed off. So you are removing electron from 4s, 2 electrons from 4s and 1 electron from 3d. Therefore, 4s 0, 3d 0. For scandium 3+, that electron will be, number of electrons will be present in case of scandium 3+ is 4s 0, 3d 0. 3d 0 means no electron and no paramagnetic nature. It is not at all, that is not at all colored. Therefore, it is colorless. And titanium 4 plus, in case of titanium, 4 plus means 2 electrons will be removed from 4s and remaining 2 electrons will be removed from 3d. So 3d 0 means there are no unpaired electrons and it is not paramagnetic and it is not also colored. So they are colorless. Scandium 3 plus 0, titanium 4 plus 3d 0. Both are said to be having no electrons in 3d. Hence they are diamagnetic as well as they are said to be colorless. Therefore, which is that one and only ion which is having unpaired electron, that is Cu2 plus, which contain one unpaired electron and it is having color. Therefore, option B is the relevant answer. The next question. The lanthanide contraction is due to. First option, filling of 4F before 4D. Next, filling of 4D before 4F. Filling of 4F before 5D and filling of 5D before 4F. Here the reason is mainly due to the filling of 4F before 5D. So the electrons will be added to the 4F orbitals and even there will be pore shielding effect and it causes the contraction. Electron cloud will be attracted towards nucleus, hence it causes lanthanide contraction. Got it? Therefore, that lanthanide contraction is due to the filling of electrons in 4F orbitals before 5D orbitals. Next question. The non-stoichiometry is shown. It is due to variable valency of transition elements, due to defect in solid structure, or due to both A and B or none of this. Very firstly, non-stoichiometry, that is shown by transition elements. They are going to form in, that is non-stoichiometric compound. Non-stoichiometric compounds. So here any metals, transition metals, they are having certain defects and they are resulting in the formation of non-stoichiometric compound. Interstitial compounds, that is interstitial compounds are said to be non-stoichiometric in nature. There will be no definite ratio with respect to the one particular metal with the other elements like carbon and hydrogen. There will be presence of different oxidation states for different transition elements and hence there will be different valency for different transition elements. It causes the attachment of elements like carbon or hydrogen with these different oxidation state metals. And even there will be defects or certain space will be present in these metals due to stoichiometric defect. And both these causes the formation of that is formation of the non-stoichiometric compounds. Therefore, which is that right option? That is the non-stoichiometry is shown, that is due to variable valency of transition elements. We can accept that, and it is also due to defect in the solid structure. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Got it? Then, which of the following elements is the main metallic constituent of hemoglobin? Here you know that our blood which contains red color, which is having red color, that is mainly containing one of the composition, that is hemoglobin. RBC which contains hemoglobin, that is hemoglobin, it is helping for carrying out oxygen to each and every part of our body. And here you have to remember which is that metal which is embedded inside that hemoglobin. So that metal is none other than iron, Fe. So among aluminium, copper, iron, manganese, which is that metal which is present in hemoglobin, that is exactly iron. Therefore, option C is the right answer. We can go for next set of questions. Here KMnO4 is the oxo salt of, which is that salt, which is that oxo salt form of KMnO4. Here you can consider in case of KMnO4 that oxidation number for Mn will be +7. And if you compare these different compounds, where you will exactly get +7 oxidation state, that is in case of Mn2O7. So here that manganese will be having +7 oxidation state. Therefore, which is that right option? That is option B is the right option. Then CrO3 liberates carbon dioxide with Na2CO3 solution. Thus CrO3 is an acidic oxide, a basic oxide, an amphoteric oxide or non-stoichiometric oxide. Here if you consider that CrO3 liberates carbon dioxide with Na2CO3 solution. Actually this CrO3, it is when made to react with the sodium carbonate solution. Here it contains aqueous medium. Of course, you can consider H2O. Therefore, in case of aqueous medium, you are going to get the formation of H2CrO4, and hence this H2CrO4 contains H plus ions. These H plus ions can directly interact with what? Directly interact with the sodium carbonate. Hence, there is liberation of carbon dioxide gas. Therefore, which is that right option? It is actually acting as acidic oxide. Therefore, option A is the right answer. Because of liberation of this H plus ions, the CrO3 will be acting as acidic oxide. Then, at pH 12, Cr2O7 2 minus dichromate ion exists as. Here CrO4 2 minus, CrO3 or CrO2 2 plus or Cr2O7 2 minus. You just easily remember. Here if you say that Cr2O7 2 minus, it is actually a pH value will be 12. That is acidic or basic condition. It is absolutely said to be basic condition. In the basic medium, you are going to get that conversion into dichromate ion is converting into chromate ion. That is CrO4 2 minus. So it is dichromate ion, it is existing in acidic medium, and whereas in basic medium it is existing in what form? Chromate ion. So it is basic medium and it is in acidic medium. Therefore, which is that right option? There is option A is the right answer. Next, traces of. Here traces of MnO4 minus in concentrated H2SO4 may change to Mn2O7, MnO3 plus, MnO2, MnO4 2 minus. Actually, this MnO4 minus combines with H2SO4 to give the combination of MnO3 plus HSO4 minus. So, it is actually giving green shade to the color. That is green shade to the solution. Here the right option will be MnO3 plus. The next question, on addition of AgNO3 to 4 different test tubes containing different solutions, one of them gave a white precipitate. It may be CHCl3 or CaCl2 or KNO3 or CCl4. We can remove the CHCl3 and CCl4 because they are covalent in nature. There is no possibility for the liberation of Cl minus. And in case of these two, CaCl2 and KNO3, it will not react with AgNO3, and the next remaining option will be CaCl2 because AgNO3 can easily react with CaCl2 to give precipitate of silver chloride. That is white in color. The color of the silver chloride is white. So hence we can say that it is giving white precipitate with CaCl2. Option B is the right answer. Next question. Rust contains Fe2O3 with water. That is, rust spots can be removed by. As you know, the composition of rust will be Fe2O3, which is hydrated H2O. And here it can be removed off either by Na2S2O3 or SO2 or H2C2O4 or KMNO4. So which is that option? Option C will be the right answer. Because here Fe2O3 along with water, when it combines with this oxalic acid H2C2O4, you are going to get the formation of the complex ion, that is Fe with oxalate ion C2O4 3 to the charge will be possessing 3 minus anion, complex anion. And here iron is in combination with oxalate ions, which is carrying 3 negative charges. It is having 3 positive charges, and therefore the rust which is having this Fe2O3 which is hydrated can be removed off with the help of oxalic acid. Therefore, option C is the relevant answer. Next question. Due to lanthanide contraction, following pairs may have approximately equal size. Zirconium, hafnium, they are having almost similar size. Niobium, tantalum, they are also having similar size. Molybdenum and another one W. So it is also having similar size. Therefore, all of these is the right option. Got it? Next, mish metal. Mish metal is an alloy of lanthanide and copper, an alloy of lanthanide and nickel, an alloy of lanthanide, iron, carbon, an alloy of calcium and copper. It is, of course, it is an alloy of lanthanide and copper. Option A is the right answer. The next question. When KCN is added to copper sulfate solution, KCN acts as reducing agent, KCN acts as complexing agent. It gives the complex, that is K3CuCN4 is formed, and all of this. Of course, you remember when KCN is added to copper sulfate solution, it gives this complex, that is K3CuCN4. So here the oxidation state for copper, as you know, it is carrying 3 negative charges. If you want to get 3 negative charges, cyanide is carrying, each cyanide is carrying negative -1. So if you want to get 3 minus, then it should be having +1. +1 minus 4 is equal to -3. Therefore, as you know, it is 3K plus, that is CuCN4 to the power 3 minus. If you get the answer as 3 minus, then copper should be having +1 as the oxidation state. Hence, we can say that here KCN is acting as reducing agent, because here in case of copper, the oxidation state will be +2. +2 will be reduced to +1. It is KCN is acting as reducing agent. And here KCN is acting as a complexing agent, because it helps to make this complex. Therefore, all of these is the right answer. Next question. Which of the following exists as white salt in anhydrous state? One is CuF2, next CuSO4, both A and B, and none of this. Of course, both CuF2 and CuSO4, they exist as white salt in anhydrous state. Therefore, both A and B, that is option C, is the relevant answer. Next, which oxide will not give metal on heating? Here, HgO, ZnO and Ag2O. You just remember, whichever those metal oxides, the metals which are more electropositive than hydrogen, they will not give metal on heating. Which is more electropositive than hydrogen? That is zinc. And mercury and silver, they are less electropositive compared to hydrogen. Therefore, option B is the right answer. It won't give metal on heating. So next, trivalent actinide ions have the configuration. Here we can just remember, in case of actinides, even there will be after 5F you will get then 6D, and even you go for 7S. The 3 electrons will be removed from 7, that is 7S, and from few they will be removed from 6D, and remaining they will be removed from F. But of course, after removal of the 3 electrons, they will be having the configuration 5F1 to 5F14. Therefore, option B is the right answer. Next, uranium reacts with concentrate HNO3 to give this, that is uranium with NO3 4 and H2 to give uranium NO3 twice and NO2, or uranium NO3 twice and H2, and to make metal passive. Of course, it makes uranium, when it reacts with HNO3, it makes metal passive. Next, most common oxidation state of lanthanide is, of course, it is +3. Option B is the right answer. Next question. The purest form of iron is stainless steel, steel, cast iron and wrought iron. This is that wrought iron, you should remember, it is the purest form of the iron. Next, maximum magnetic moment is shown by, higher the number of unpaired electrons, more will be the magnetic moment. Therefore, among these, which will be having more number of unpaired electrons? That is 3d5, because it contains 5 unpaired electrons. But in this case, the number of unpaired electrons will get reduced because of pairing of electrons. Therefore, option A is the right answer. Next, interstitial compound is formed by FeCO, CONi, FeNi and all of this. Of course, these interstitial compounds are formed by all of these. Got it? So here we go for last set of questions. Very first, coagulation of blood takes place by ferric alum, potash alum, both A and B. Here we can consider the negatively charged colloidal particles which are present in the blood can be easily get coagulated by both ferric alum as well as potash alum. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Which of the following has more than one oxidation state? Here, except this manganese, others will be having only single oxidation state. Therefore, manganese will be having variable oxidation state. Option B is right answer. Mercury is the only metal which is liquid at 0 degrees Celsius. So, it is liquid in state even at 0 degrees Celsius. What is the reason? The reason will be due to the weak metallic bonds. So, option A will be the right answer. It is neither high ionization energy or high vapor pressure or both A and B. So here the basic characteristics of next question. The basic character of transition metal monoxide follows the order. Here you should remember that whatever the code I had given SCTV, chromen, feconicozen. If you remember that order, along that period there will be decrease in the basic character of the respective oxide. Therefore you will get SCTV, titanium, then vanadium, chromen. So Cr, chromium, feconicozen, iron. So this is the correct order. So here there is a difference in that order. Hence you can consider this is the right order, that is option B is the right answer. Which of the following transition element show the highest oxidation state? So here again you can consider which is that having higher oxidation, different number of oxidation state you can consider, that is manganese can exhibit different oxidation state and even it is able to exhibit higher oxidation state, that is +7 we can consider, that is manganese. Which of the following elements show maximum number of different oxidation state in its compounds? That is uranium, that is La, gadolinium, americium. So it is americium, Am is the right answer. Bell metal is an alloy of copper lead, copper tin, copper zinc or copper nickel. It is copper tin. Option B is the right answer. Then the metal that does not displace hydrogen from an acid is aluminium, calcium, zinc and mercury. Which is that less electropositive when compared to hydrogen, that is mercury. So therefore, and remaining all are electropositive in nature, therefore which will not displace hydrogen from acid, that is mercury, Hg. And the last question, the lanthanides and actinides resembles in their electronic configuration, oxidation state or ionization energy or formation of the complex. It is with respect to their oxidation state. So these are the questions with respect to D and F block elements. You can still work out many more questions which comes under this chapter, D and F block elements.